A Missouri sheriff facing a lot of backlash after putting decals on the back of patrol cars in Stone County that simply say, quote, "In God we trust."
Well, this should be good.
It's printed on all of our money, but people are upset.
Yes, and people totally have the right to be upset. This is kind of absurd.
One man posting on Facebook, quote, "Very simple, and I'll state for the record, I'm not offended that these decals exist. It's inappropriate to have them on government property. No voting required. It's a violation of church and state. You are showing a preference to a religion. How is this such a mystery?"
Right, so what this guy is basically talking about is laying out secularism, what America was founded upon. And he's upset because of the fact that even in our police force and our government, that we're not following it. And it is laid out in the First Amendment that an absolute separation of church and state is necessary.
The sheriff reacting to the negativity earlier today. Watch this.
I'm mad because I'm mad this is even an issue. There's, hundreds and hundreds of sheriff's departments and police departments across this nation, probably thousands that have "In God We Trust" on the back of their cars. But I've been picked out as the one that they want to come after.
But Mom, all my other friends are doing it, and why am I the only one getting in trouble? You see how ridiculous that sounds? That's exactly what this chief is sounding like right now.
Where's our patriotism?
Okay, seriously, does someone want to explain to me how in the hell putting "In God We Trust" on the back of a police cruiser is patriotic in any way? Does it represent the United States in any way other than the fact that it's printed on your money? Like, how? No, that's not patriotic at all. That's representing a religion in itself. That's it. Nothing else. There's unless it says "In America We Trust," that'd be patriotic. But other than that, no, it's just simply "In God We Trust." That's it.
Anytime anybody wants to be patriotic and make a symbol nowadays, they're attacked.
That's not quite true, as you saw in your own country with the whole passing of gay marriage in the Supreme Court. I don't know about you, but I saw gay pride flags flying all over the world. And yes, some people hated that, but the overall majority loved them for that. So don't go ahead and say that every symbol is attacked whenever it's, trying to represent something or it's trying to be patriotic in any way. I mean, there are bunch of different symbols that represent different aspects of patriotism in the country. For example, the eagle, you see that flown around the freaking states all the time. And in Canada, you have the maple leaf that's all over the place. That is the symbol of patriotism. Putting "In God We Trust," no, that is not a symbol of patriotism because that's representing a religion.
Okay, so let me tell you what the Supreme Court has
All right.
ruled.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court has ruled that the phrase "In God We Trust" does not violate the First Amendment and does not violate the separation of church and state any more than "Under God" does in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag or saying in a courtroom, "God save the United States and this honorable court."
Right. So "In God We Trust" has been the center of much controversy in the United States for quite some time. It was legalized it was put as the national motto in the 50s. And since then, it's had nothing but attacks. It was first really challenged in 1970 in the Arano versus United States case, where Stephen Ray Arano was trying to prove a point that "In God We Trust" was unconstitutional and violated the First Amendment. He was shot down hard by the United States Courts of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit by saying it is quite obvious that the national motto and the slogan on coinage and currency "In God We Trust" has nothing whatsoever to do with the establishment of religion. Its use is of patriotic or ceremonial character and bears no true resemblance to a governmental body governmental sponsorship of a religious exercise. Now, that wasn't the end of it. There was much more. Since then has been countless cases of people trying to take "In God We Trust" off the bills and completely eliminate it from government in general. There was actually an article that from roughly around 2 years ago where some atheists did try and take it to the Supreme Court again. And with the argument that, yeah, no, they found it offensive that whenever they exchange money, that they have to have God shoved in their face, and the idea of him shoved in their face, even though they could be taxpayers. But of course, the Supreme Court wrote to him, the Supreme Court has repeatedly assumed the motto's secular purpose and effect. They have found no constitutional violation in the motto's inclusion on the currency, and that the placement of the phrase didn't constitute a substantial burden on atheists. Well, excuse me, but who the fuck are you to say how much of a burden it is on someone? If they are in an environment where they are constantly having religions shoved in their face, whatever religion it may be, why the hell, even though they're a tax-paying citizen supporting the government, why would they want the idea of God shoved in their face even further on their money? And you're going to say to him that it's not a substantial burden? You don't have the right to say that. It's bad enough that the motto already violates your First Amendment, which is secularism. But you're going to go ahead and say whether or not it's a big burden on someone or not.
But is it divisive to put this on the back of a police car, Ms. Roginski?
I would not, and I am going to say something that's going to get me so much hate mail.
Don't worry, Ms. Roginski. We can handle this bullshit together, and we can get all the hate mail together.
Bring it on.
Say it anyway.
I'm going to say it
Ainsley
anyway.
will defend
Thank you, Ainsley.
Yes.
I'm sure, no, Ainsley will not defend me in this. I don't agree with the court. Separation of church and state means don't bring, if you want to put "In God We Trust" on a bumper sticker and put it on your car, great. Don't put it on my money. Don't put it on government property. Take it out of the Pledge of Allegiance. Not because I hate God. I get it. I get that it's legal.
Hold on.
Whoa, take it easy there, guys. You guys sound like a bunch of hyenas. They're all ganging up on her, man. How the hell is that civilized?
Hold on.
Yes.
How do you think they purchased the cruisers? With Monopoly money?
I don't know how the hell that has anything to do with "In God We Trust." Why the hell would it matter who buys the fucking police cruisers? That's not the topic at hand.
What, God gave it to them?
No, it says "In God We Trust" on
I
the
get
dollars
it.
that were
No,
used
no,
to
no,
buy
no,
the
no.
car.
You're missing my point.
But
I agree that it's legal. I would prefer that "In God We Trust" not be on our money, not be on government property. I think it is divisive.
Julie?
And I think it is offensive to atheists and to other people who may not believe in God.
Thank you. Nice to see someone has our backs for once. I love how the girl next to her was laughing right beside her, like, you know, she doesn't give a shit, and she's like, oh, well, it's fucking atheists, right? What do they know?
Judge,
I know.
She's
I'm absolutely the minority here.
She is the minority.
Do you
here, but-
disagree with what I'm
Well,
saying?
I disagree with what you're saying.
Why?
Because I agree with the court. The phrase "In God We Trust" has become so passé. I don't think anybody looks at it on their cash. I don't think anybody
matter.
feels offended when they use a dollar
Julie
bill.
does, apparently.
I actually do. I've always
That's
said
crazy.
so. I know that everybody disagrees with me on this. I get it. This is not
What
because, and by
about-
the way, it's not
okay,
because I hate
what
God.
about
Don't
this?
send me
What
crazy
about
when you
this?
send her
Sheriff.
hate mail, take my Twitter handle off. 'cause I don't
Should
wanna
the
see it.
sheriff be concerned with people that have sensibilities like Julie's?
Maybe, and then the sheriff can give his officers the choice to put that sticker on the back of their car.
No. Why would you give anyone the choice of putting "In God We Trust" as a sticker on their car? It's a government vehicle. It's not like your freaking play toy where you can take it around and do whatever you want and then go drifting on some side road. No, it's a government vehicle, and all of them should have the same rules. It doesn't go down to the freaking officer and what he wants. It's a government vehicle. It follows rules, which means it follows the First Amendment.
Well, the majority of Americans, 77% believe in some sort of God. The majority are Christians. You have 23%. This is according to Pew Research. They surveyed 35,000 people last year. 23% are atheist or agnostic, and the majority should win in this case.
What the fuck? No. No, the majority doesn't win in this case because you're still offending an immense amount of people, not just atheists, but of other religions as well. Like, that's completely absurd and insensitive to anyone with any other religious affiliation.
Also, if you don't believe in God, here's my thought. If you don't believe in God, Why do you get so offended by the word God?
Why would we get offended? Well, I don't know. Maybe you haven't heard, but there are these things called, you know, Jehovah's Witnesses and a plethora of other religions and organizations that will come to your door and shove Bibles in your face when you do not want them to, and then they'll wake you up and then shove it in your face again and then tell you how you're going to hell. The last thing that we want to see again and again and again is the same religion shoved in our face. We want to know that our government is neutral, that no matter what, it doesn't side with any religion. That is the point of secularism.
You would think it was just...
Well, first of all, let me start by saying I do believe in God. So, again, I don't want to hear it from everybody, but
you're ready to.
But I'm ready to anyway. But I do want to say that it is because we protect the rights of the minority. And listen, we have separation of church and state in this country.
What about the majority?
Okay,
I'm so tired of protecting the minority.
Yeah, what about the majority? I'm so tired of hearing about the minority. Yeah. No, that's not what your country is founded upon. Your country is founded upon secularism. It's in your First Amendment, the separation of church and state, so that the church and religion has nothing to do with the government. Okay? That means that in no way should the government have any bias towards any religion at all, even Christianity, regardless if it's the majority. So that is why having it on your goddamn money is so offensive to so many people, because of the fact that the government is completely violating that equality. Okay? Like, come on, I don't understand how this logic is so hard to understand. You have to realize that the government is religiously neutral. It does not favor anyone.
77%.
Ainsley, put it on your car. I don't have a problem with you putting it on your car. I do have a big problem with government taking religion on in its public domain.
But if the Supreme Court ruled,
I disagree with the court. The same way I disagree with having a creche on City Hall property or anything else. Take it out of the public sphere.
Well, the court has ruled the other way on that.
If you don't get arrested and do anything bad, you won't even have to look at the cruiser.
You know what? I'm always ready to get arrested.
She's so cool when she gets mad.
I love when Ainsley gets fired up. I love that. Yes, girl, the tyranny of the minority.
Gotta defend my God. Gotta defend him.
All right, Southern firecracker over here.
Yeah, and you wonder why so many people are hating your country right now. Jeez. I hope you enjoyed the video, and you can always help me out by liking the video, subscribing, and sharing, and doing all that sort of shit, which is awesome. I'm the OK Dude, and I hope you all are doing okay, and have a great day.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.